Die Dreharbeiten für die Doku Jurassic Road haben uns im letzten Sommer nach Moskau geführt. Dort hat uns der YouTuber Alexej empfangen und uns die russische Nerd-Szene erklärt. Unter anderem mit einem Besuch im Science-Fiction-Café Papa Vader.
So, this is the Papa Vader Geek Cafe in Moscow, where most of the geeks from Moscow come to eat some space food. No, usually it's normal food, but it is named in the name of the famous and popular geek films, mostly sci-fi, cosmic films. Here is the Wall of Fame. We've got much quotes from famous titles. And there is the thematical zone that we've got some tables named in the name of fandom that it is according to. We've got a Nostromo with the Alien, with the Predator. We've got a big new Warhammer zone with the Emperor itself, where people may eat some food on the top of the heads of the Space Marines. I think it's great. Eat for the Emperor's glory. So we've got a poll here where cosplayers in the Twi'lek costumes are dancing, pole dancing. Lights goes out and everyone enjoying this show. Sometime at some events they are doing thematical dances, not only Twi'leks. I've seen DC themated dance and much more. We've got a small library here where you can read some books or magazines, fantastic books. Here's a little shop of Russian comics. Right. Yeah, we've got Russian comics. Russians write comics and draw comics.
Why not?
Yes. As you can see, it is also made like the board, like the controlling room of the spaceship. So you can sit here and feel like in outer space. And here is the shelf with the board games. My team. So everybody who is going here may just take a game, sit and play.
Alexej hat mit seinem russischen Brettspielkanal auf YouTube über 25.000 Abos. In seinem Studio zeigt er uns ein paar seiner Highlights.
Wir sind in Moskau zu Gast bei Alex, der mit Diese, einen der größten russischen Channels zum Thema Brettspiele hat. Und man kann es vielleicht auch ahnen, eine Menge zu dem Thema macht. Man sieht es im Hintergrund. Und wir werden mit ihm über die Szene, über das Nerdsein in Russland und über Brettspiele in Russland ein wenig plaudern.
Hello, my name is Alex and I'm the author of the YouTube channel named Diese. On this channel I'm making reviews, some interviews and filming the events that happens in Russia, in Moscow. That is somehow used to introduce board gaming in this country. I do not make videos about complex and big systems like das schwarze Auge, but usually I'm making more common board games.
Because of the language barrier, actually we know very little about kind of the nerddom of Russia, about what the geeks and the nerds alike are. Is there a scene? Is there kind of people meeting up? And you kind of mentioned before that there's even a nerd cafe close to here. So is there a strong, a vibrant scene?
Yeah, we've got a strong, geeky and nerdy community in Russia. We've got a really huge cosplay community. Many people are making costumes, and in my opinion, they do it well. We've got I think more common geeky audience that like stuff that is popular, I think, in the whole world, like Star Wars. We've got lots of Star Wars fans. We've got a huge fandom that likes The Witcher. Really great community, and we've got lots of fans of Might and Magic.
Looking at all the stuff behind you, you have a lot of games that are known throughout the world. I just learned Ужас for for horror, for the Arkham horror games. Is it hard or is it easy to get the Russian version of games? Is there a big market, or is it changing?
Yes, it is changing now. 5 years ago, you couldn't find the Russian versions of the board games at all. Now it is getting up. We're getting more and more games every year, and this year we've got some titles that were released in Russian language at the same time with the world releases in English and in other European languages. So the board gaming in Russia becoming more popular, and it's great because we're getting bigger and bigger community.
Okay, you already have something prepared here because you're also showing us games that we don't know. And I guess very little people in Germany or in Western Europe are going to know these because they're Russian board games that were created here. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Of course, I'll tell you something about the board games. I have only 2 of them here, but there is a lot of games in high variety of genres, and we've got some strategies, we've got some more casual games, we've got some RPGs as well, but not so huge ones. They're more common and more easy to understand for the players, I think. And I'm showing the kind of unusual board games. I don't know if you could call it the board game as you used to play it, but it's kind of really simple. In this game, you need to build card house. Just put the cards over here and make the room that you, after that, is placing a second floor up, and you need to build a house bigger and bigger every time, and your opponents will try to make it better. And here's really a lot of modes. In one of them, you usually just make something like an earthquake, when you need to shake the table after each part of the building. Would you like to try?
I can try. I'm going to do very badly, I guess. Can I give you the microphone?
Of course.
Okay, so I've been looking at, you've done it?
Yeah, you just hold it with your finger.
Okay, and you press down from above like that.
Yay.
So right now it's still holding.
Yes, and now you place the second floor.
Now it's going down. No,
Yes.
no. It's still standing. And now you need to shake the table.
You can shake the table, yes, and see whose house will be the I think that's okay.
Oh, the holding.
Yeah. So after that, you're placing the second floor and the third and fourth, and whose house will fall first is the loser.
Okay. It's. Do you know Jenga?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
it's a little bit like paper Jenga played backwards.
Reversed, yes. And here are many modes of the play. So you can build houses together. You can play it like cooperative game, or you can play it like versus game. There is also a mode when people change places. So you build one floor and then you change places with another player, and he's going to finish your house.
Okay.
And it's just, I think, unusual for board gaming.
It is, yes. And I think we have to collapse them now because the second thing we're going to show is beneath. That's the fun part.
And the second one is more usual.
Okay. Let's take a look at this.
Yes.
The design is very, very nice. Very.
Yes, and they've got a font, very interesting, and it's kind of hard to read, but it's some ways of designing. You've got a field here with so much characters that are standing against each other. And places every player starts with 3 of them, as I remember. I may be mistaken, but
You know, on our side, no one's going to notice.
yes. And every player has a card with abilities that are listed here. They are decorated in some like Gothic style, I suppose. It's very dark and kind of creepy. So they use abilities and they fight each other, but they've got a fort that they need to protect. And here is the siege towers. When your character is standing near the tower, it shoots the opponent's fort. And you've got half of the fort, and each shot getting it lower and lower. And you need to protect the fort. Characters may attack each other. They may even kill each other. They need to go back. And he'll use some abilities to destroy opponent's fort.
Okay.
It's more easier to understand game. It's more simple and it is more usual to players, I think. But it's decorated really good, as I think. And it is also a Russian game that is made here in Russia, in Siberia.
A game from Siberia.
Yes.
That's
Without
a
bears.
first for me.
Without bears.
And without snow. I can read Cyrillic script actually, and this is Japonsky Domik. I don't know where the stress is.
It was great. It was almost correct. It's Japonsky domik.
Japonsky Domik. And I guess that's Japanese houses.
Yes, house, one.
One house. Okay.
And
So-
that will be the hard one.
Yeah, because that's not only Cyrillic, it's a very strange font. What is that supposed to? That's a T. Bestiari,
Yes,
Sigillima?
yes. Bestiary of the Sigillium. I think it's like
Okay.
Sigillium's bestiary. So it's decorated like the book. And the beasts of that bestiary is here. They've got some interesting symbols also. And it comes in a mailing paper with a stamp.
Okay,
I
so
think it's-
maybe someone's going to import them to Germany. That would be nice. And I was going to ask, we see behind you, of course, there's Fantasy Flight and other big companies. Is there also Russian companies that produce games, big ones?
Of course, it started like board game shops that at some times they bought the licenses to make Russian versions of the game. The first was, I think, Carcassonne, the easiest game to localize, to translate it to the game, because it's don't have any text on the components. There was then was translated The Settlers of Catan, the one classic game as well. After that, we've got Munchkin, we've got Arkham Horror. It was really a great step forward for us to have such a big texted game in Russian like Arkham Horror, and now we've got kind of fourth edition of Russian Arkham Horror already. They're always making it better, and it's really good. And now we've got like 3 companies that are not only translating games, and they are also making their own board games, and really simple ones, and hard strategies too. Strategies.
Okay, and what did you do as a board game geek before those translations came, those official translations, and those publishing houses who did that? How did you work?
The most common way getting the games from Amazon, from Cool Stuff Inc., and shops like that where we can get board games. And nowadays it's kind of strange, but it may be cheaper to get the game from mailed from US or from Europe, because our ruble is going down and we are having high prices for the board games, but we're making our own.
Okay, and I guess your English is pretty good, very good actually. And I guess as a board game geek, importing your games from somewhere else, it's important also to speak other languages. It's kind of an international nerdy scene.
Of course, it's always good to speak English because you can translate the rules to other players. And before it was translated to Russian, it was really hard to play board games if your team does not have a player that can translate the rules, to know them and to get these rules, to get other players learn these rules and have to play it. So while I've started the video blog, I think this was one of the reasons. So I can tell people how to play games, actually. As I said, most videos that I film is reviews. So I am telling people how to play this game, what this game has inside the box, and what it feels like playing this game.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about when did you start out and how did you start out? You said it was teaching other people about the games, about the rules, and when was that? How long have you been at this?
My video blog is 3 years already, and before it I was a demonstrator of the board game in a company. So on some events like playing days and playing nights.
You're not the kind of YouTuber who does this for money, for fame. It's for you. It's just fun. It's for the scene, for the hobby, right?
Of course, I'm making my videos for hobby, as in the first place, but also I'm working in a big company and I'm making video reviews also for that company for all games that they are producing and they're selling. So I am doing my job in making video reviews for the other channel, and my hobby is making video reviews for myself. It's like a circle.
Diese Aufnahmen waren teils Kandidaten für Szenen in der Doku Jurassic Road, die davon handelt, wie wir mit einem Wohnmobil in China ein Dino abholen und wie uns unsere YouTube-Community den Hintern rettet. Die Doku ist noch im Schnitt, auf der passenden Facebook-Seite könnt ihr darüber auf dem Laufenden bleiben. Auf unserer Patreon-Seite gibt's für alle, die uns etwas spenden, Einblicke in die Produktion.